Have you ever noticed how in certain places you just feel more on, more driven, more ready to tackle anything the world throws at you? Well, what if there was a map for that? A personal map, just for you, that shows you exactly where on Earth your energy for action and conquest is literally at its peak. This is the power of your Mars lines, and we're about to unfold that map together. And no, this isn't just some cool hypothetical. It's the whole idea behind a system called astrocartography. And today, we're diving deep into one of its most dynamic, most fiery features, the Mars lines. Think of these as the literal hotspots on your personal world map where your inner warrior is just waiting to get going. All right, so according to our source material from Zoran, it's time to, and I quote, strap on your dragon scale armor. We're talking about Mars lines. These are the most assertive, action-packed currents running across your personal map. You know, Mars is all about drive and physical energy, and these lines show you exactly where those instincts ignite into real-world action. So let's break it down. Imagine there's this invisible power grid stretched across the globe, but it's tailored just for you. That's kind of what Mars lines are. They pinpoint the exact spots where that celestial warrior energy, your personal drive, your ambition, your guts, gets a massive boost, making it way easier to just act. And when you're on a Mars line, the effects can be incredibly real. Procrastination, it can just melt away. That's the initiation part. You suddenly feel sharper, more ready to go in any kind of competitive setting. And you might just find you have this huge surplus of physical energy, which is perfect for sports, the gym, or any kind of demanding work. But here's the thing. This raw Martian energy isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. No. It gets channeled in 4 very different ways, all depending on how it lines up with your personal map. Our source, Zoran, calls these the 4 Martial paths. Okay, first up, we've got the Mars Ascendant, or the AC line. You can think of this one as your ultimate ignition switch. It directly pumps your physical body and your whole personal vibe with this raw, undeniable energy. This is the line for entrepreneurs, for sure. When you're on a Mars AC line, you tend to act first and figure it out later. You just radiate vitality, you move a little faster, you speak more directly. It is the perfect place to be if you need to launch a bold new company or finally kickstart that intense fitness routine. Now for our second path, Mars on the Imam Cooley, or the IC line. This one takes all that assertive, out in the world energy and brings it right into your private life, right into your home. On this line, your home can seriously transform into what the source calls a war room or maybe a high-energy workshop. You might get this unstoppable urge to tackle huge renovations, build a home gym, or apply some serious discipline to a work-from-home project. Your home base becomes a hub of action. Path number 3. This is where that Martian energy gets injected directly into your one-on-one relationships. This is Mars on the Descendant, or the DC line. So what happens here? Well, you're much more likely to attract partners, whether in business or romance, who are super energetic, really driven, and yeah, maybe even a little confrontational. These relationships are intense, they're passionate, they challenge you, and they push you to act. This is the place to find that competitive business partner who's going to keep you on your toes. And finally, we have the 4th path, Mars on the Midheaven, or MC line. Now this might just be one of the most powerful career-driven lines on the entire map. This is where your ambition truly goes public. On a Mars MC line, your public image becomes that of a doer, a courageous leader, someone who's decisive. It is an absolutely incredible asset for anyone aiming for a big executive role, launching a startup in a cutthroat market, or just seeking recognition for what they do. Success here is often carved out by pure force of will. So this really highlights the key difference between those last 2 lines, right? The Mars IC line channels that fiery energy inward, into your home, your private foundation. But the Mars MC line projects that exact same energy outward, into your career and your public reputation. One is your private base of operations, the other is the public battlefield. But of course, all this fire, it comes with a pretty big warning label. Mars is pure action, but action without any direction can easily spin into chaos and burnout. We have to be really aware of what Zoran calls the overheated forge, or the Martial shadow. So there are 3 main risks to watch out for. First up, conflict. You might find you're just attracting arguments or that people are getting really passive-aggressive around you. Second, exhaustion. Pushing yourself way too hard can lead straight to burnout. And third, accidents. That combination of high speed and impatience, well, it's a perfect recipe for physical injury. So, the big question is, how do we use this incredible power without getting burned? It's not about avoiding the energy, not at all. It's about channeling it with a clear strategy. It's about learning how to aim what Zorn calls the fiery claw. And lucky for us, the source gives us two core strategies to do exactly that. The first one focuses on fueling your professional drive, and the second is all about strategically managing conflict. Okay, for your career, think quick launch. Mars Energy is a sprint, not a marathon, so it's perfect for those high-impact short-term projects. And this next part is vital. You have to have a physical outlet. A tough daily routine like running or lifting gives all that intense energy a productive job to do. Because if you don't, trust me, it'll find its own outlet, and that usually looks like arguments. Now for managing conflict, you can actually turn your Mars lines into a strategic advantage. Let's say you have to have a difficult negotiation. Why not travel to your Mars DC or MC line to be at your most assertive? And to keep the peace at home when you're on a Mars IC line, you can create a designated Mars zone, like a workshop or a home gym, to contain all that intense energy and keep the rest of your house peaceful. In the end, it really all comes down to this single piece of wisdom from Zoran. You must aim your energy carefully, or it will simply expend itself in frustration. This powerful energy is a tool. Without any conscious direction, it's just chaotic noise. But with focus, it's the force that can drive you to victory. Which brings us to our final question for you. When you look at your goals, your ambitions, your challenges, where on your personal map do you need this energy the most? Where will your fiery claws strike first?